Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay, apart from I've had chicken pox.
Oh no,
That's
chicken
okay.
pox. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway, so how was your week? How has your week been?
But apart from having chicken
Chicken
pox,
pox.
which luckily fell right over a bank holiday, so although I planned a whole exciting weekend of creative thinking and activities to catch up with, I love bank holidays. It's my time when I still work,
Mhm.
but I use it as creative thinking time, and I really get stuck into projects that I normally am just too busy to even have the headspace for. But
Yeah.
ironically, I did lots of sleeping and
Uh-huh.
have today bounced back into just in time for my work hours. I've bounced back to have a fresh thought on things. So I've actually done more good creative thinking this morning than I would have done probably over 2 days.
Yeah.
Well, last week,
Uh-huh.
in fact, this time last week, I did one of my innovation days, and normally I run these with big business, and it's a day of creative thinking, sharing my experiences, and just generally getting the people in the room to start thinking about things that are more about self-reliance, social enterprise, sustainability, without frightening them into you can't earn money and you can't do things that are going to harm the environment. I try to run these days that involve all those things. However, what they're actually about is my own experience and really how much value I get from creative thinking.
Yeah.
So I did that for Canterbury Church University for their entrepreneurship and innovation team, and it was a load of students who were just about to leave university, bounce into the big wide world, terrified most of them, not sure which steps to take next, and great bunch of really bright kids. But a voice clinic on Saturday with, as usual, great big bunch of people, and I'm going to change my advice clinic. Its name has evolved over time. It's always been free advice, but when I first opened Bricks and Bread, it's a sustainable living centre. I was sharing my knowledge of eco building and self-reliance and just general sustainability things. That's now evolved into careers advice and business innovation advice, so startups and existing businesses of all types. So there's no definition of who comes for that free advice, or where they are, because as usual on Saturday, the advice was given to people all over the country.
So this advice is done over Skype, is it?
Yeah, a lot of it is, but a lot of people like to come and see me at the centre so that get the advice with me, but they get to look around what we do there and just spend a bit of time in a creative space, because Saturday is the day when we bring out all of the scrap store waste, so sort of the Blue Peter make it kind of, toilet roll middles to sort of stationary type of waste, stick it on the table, and everyone's allowed to come and just use it to make creative things. So whether I'm giving an advice clinic to someone whose kids are there and their partner and their kids are there playing with the things, or whether we just all sit down together and just draw and paint and generally have a creative time, and so that's the two things are generally there. And I think that advice clinic really is evolving into creative thinking, self-esteem, how to really boost your self-esteem by.
In terms of advertisement, what channels do you use to let people know that, look, I've got my advice clinic and this is the success I've had?
Well, it's word of mouth.
Really?
I've got a website, it's popular. I've got Twitter, and that's got 10,000 people following me on there. But in all honesty, it's all word of mouth, and it all comes from someone else that's been in there, spoken to me, or a group of people who've sat down and had an innovation day with me. And one of them might come and book themselves in, and then the rest that were in that group will come. So, from that session with the students, I've already had. They join our hub, so that's also another source. hub members get an hour with me rather than a half hour, but it's free to join our hub. So generally, someone will come to one of my events, join in the hub, and just benefit from that. What that gives them.
It's great.
So I don't know how long it's taken me to be in this position, but I think it's 3 years of running Bricks and Bread the way I've been running it as a social enterprise, getting more and more into the value of social enterprise, what the nitty gritty of what you're actually doing with social enterprise. Who are you there to help, and why are you doing it? Because half the time I think most of us doing social enterprise really wonder why on earth are we doing this, because it's often very, very hard.
It is,
yeah. I mean, I can't stress enough to people how valuable it has been for me being a social entrepreneur. The value is always seeing how much you can help others without being patronising, really, without satisfying people. Because the worst thing I hear is, especially with this funding thing, is who are your stakeholders? Who's going to benefit from this? Who's going to be, what age are these people? Well, I see the same problem happening for people of all ages, all backgrounds, all income streams, and it boils down to self-esteem, self-reliance, and a lack of understanding of nature. And
yeah, truly. So earlier you mentioned that you didn't receive funding from anybody. So could you elaborate a little more on how you fund your business?
Well, I run a business. That's how I do it. I mean, how I think all social enterprises ought to be run is that you run a proper business that earns money, and either the money that you earn or the activities that you deliver within your business, either inside its walls of the business or outside and what it actually delivers to people, is social benefits.
Right.
So basically, I have several income streams to Bricks and Bread, which include things like me going out and doing public speaking, and me doing innovation entrepreneurship training sessions. And I do a lot of those for corporates as well as for universities, and I charge them a day rate.
Right, yeah.
But also Bricks and Bread hires a venue out, offers service offices, and of course I have my waste reuse activities, which not only reduce the waste within Bricks and Bread's actual operation, so service offices don't produce any waste, they add stuff to the scrap store, or things go in the compost that's on site at the centre.
Brilliant.
So, but also I have a massive waste operation which goes through Bricks and Bread's website, and people can email through the website, include a picture and tell me what waste they have to reuse. And anyone can do that, from an individual to a big company. And finally, and obviously I sell a third of that, I use a third of it, and I donate a third of it. So waste is absolutely critical to how I operate the business as well as how I fund it.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? Goodwill. I don't expect people to volunteer for me. I don't expect people to do anything for nothing for me whatsoever. However, for several months now, I've been building up towards launching my search for 10 entrepreneurs. And these are young entrepreneurs to work alongside me. I've delayed it. It was going to be launched on the 1st, and I delayed it first of all because the government did a launch of some initiative. I'm actually really glad I delayed it because of that, because it's actually given me a bit more time to think more coherently about what I wanted to do. Offering them, I'm not asking for sponsorship, I'm not asking for anything else. All I'm offering them is you will have 10 young people trained by me under my Change to Save programme, so learning exactly what I teach people who buy my franchise or who come and learn how to be an entrepreneur with me.
Really look forward to finding out how you're launching this next week and how everything comes along.
So
Thank you very much.
I don't know.
Find out more www.u-do.com.